All right, today we are almost doing the same thing. We are graphing linear functions. So we are graphing straight lines from the equations. We're gonna have a quick review of graphing in y equal mx plus b. But the main one that you are learning today is the point slope form, which is y minus y1 equal mx minus x1. So this is the main one that you're learning today. So graphing is not that difficult. It is slope, rise over run, starting from a point, and that's exactly what we are doing. So let's just have a quick review of y equal mx plus b form. So graphing in y equal mx plus b form, where m is the slope, rate of change, remember, and b is the y-intercept. So this is the y-intercept. When we graphed the equations on Friday, we kind of did the same thing. We were starting from a point, and then we were using the slope, rise over run, to graph. So today as well, the same steps. We are starting from the point, but the point is basically the y-intercept. So not an order pair, but the y-intercept, so much easier. And then again, we are using the slope, rise over run. All right. Identify the slope and the y-intercept of the linear function and graph the linear function. Not that difficult, to be honest. It's the same thing. F of x is a fancy way of writing y. So y equals 2x plus 3 is your equation, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. If you have a problem identifying, all you have to do is write your equation underneath y equal mx plus b, and there you go. m is 2 and b is positive 3. So there you go. I have the slope and I have the y-intercept. Now slope is rise over run, so it should be 2 over 1. So 2 up and 1 to the right, because they both are positive. And this is the y-intercept, and this is where my starting point is. And this point is same as 3, 0. So everything is technically the same. 3, 0 on the graph. So this is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. There you go. This is my start. So I'm going to start here. This is where I'm going to start. And now I'm going to use my slope, which is 2 up, 1 right. Oh, 2 up, 1 right. I need to go 2 up. I already have used that space. So 1, 2 up, 1 right. There you go. My next point is there. So 2 up, 1 right. I can go further up, but since I don't have room, I'm going to just go reverse in both directions. So 2 down, 1 left. I'm going to make a staircase. 2 down, 1 left. 2 down, 1 left. It says, there you go. I have good enough points. I need a edge of a paper. This is what I have right now. And there you go. This is my line. Pretty easy, pretty simple. This is a positive slope, and I should have gotten a positive slope. So I want you to actually make a slope face, so that will help you with remembering that if you are drawing correct line. I can also check it using the Desmos calculator. So just graph that equation in the calculator and match your x-intercept and y-intercept and see if you have the same looking line. So this would be the check. Graph the equation in the Desmos calculator. Just type this whole thing and you will see a line. All right, slope face. So slope face is a positive. If it's going up the hill, it is positive. It is coming down the hill, it is negative. If it's a vertical, it is u, and if it is horizontal flat line, it is a 0. So this is basically your slope face. My line or slope is positive and it is going up the hill, so I drew it correctly. So that's one other clue that you can use. You should be able to do all these, okay? Because they are simple and easy. Remember, when there's no point, or there when there's an invisible, there's no number, it is an invisible one. So your slope for the third one, I can just assist you with that. Your slope is -1. There's nothing at the bottom, so it is negative. So it's 1 in the bottom. It's a negative, so it should be down. And this one is positive, so it should be right. If you want, you can do the rise over run. Small note over here. So rise over run. Rise is, if it's positive, you are going up. If it is negative, you went down. If it is positive, you went to the right. And if it is negative, you went to the, or you want to go to the left. So this is small keynote with your slope. And you are starting from, so this is basically your step number 2. And step number 1 is you start at x comma y, or y-intercept, which is also 0 comma the number. So it's technically the same thing. So this is your step number 1, and then step number 2, rise over run, and then you connect the points, and there you go, you have everything. So go ahead, pause over here and finish these 3 questions, and then check them using the calculator. So yes, you want to add that as well. 3 is check using calculator. Check graphing decimal. Go ahead, finish those before you flip the page. All right, the next one is the point slope form. Now, the point slope form is a new type that you have not seen before. But this is not something new. You don't have to memorize because point slope form is basically given to you in your reference chart. So we are working on the linear equations these days. You are already familiar with the slope-intercept form, y = mx + b, and point slope form is the one that we are working on today. Why? Okay, now why it is called slope-intercept? Because you have 2 information with you. Number 1 is slope, which is m, and intercept, which is the b. That is why this one is called slope-intercept. The next one is point slope. So I have 2 things available to me. First one, I have a point, which is x1 and y1. And then I have a slope, which is the m. So it is in the name what information I have. So don't worry, I'm going to provide you these reference charts. So you will have them at the back of your binder. Y minus y1 equal m parentheses x minus x1. This is your point slope form. Slope is m, point is that x1, y1. The blank is the value of m, slope, rate of change, rise over run. If I'm graphing, I need rise over run. And this is the point. You have the point or the information of the point given to you. Okay, now point. So I have the point, I have the slope. All I have to do is figure it out, and then I will have the answer. Now I'm gonna have 2 different ways over here, to be honest. So I have 2 different methods that I can use. First one, I'm just gonna use the point slope form. And from there, I'm gonna have the answer. Second one, I'm gonna actually convert it to y = mx + b and then use that. So let's see. So this one, the example number 1 is I'm gonna be keeping it as point slope form. So I need the slope and I need the point. Slope is, okay, first write that actual equation underneath. Y minus y1 equal mx minus x1. From here, you can see that slope is negative 1/3. So your slope is negative 1/3. Negative 1/3 means only one of them is minus. So I'm just going to keep that 1 as a negative. This means 1 down and 3 to the right, because that's what I'm going to use to graph. Now I need the point, which is x1 comma y1. So let's see. Now you have to pay attention. This is where a lot of kids make mistake. So do you notice that there's a y and then there's a minus? So this minus is basically the part of your equation. This minus is part of your equation. So your y1 is 3. So y1 is positive 3. It is not negative 3 because that minus is part of your equation. On this one, this is x and x, and this is minus minus. So minus is part of your equation. Your x1 is 2, positive 2. It is not negative 2. It is positive 2 because this minus is part of your equation. So you have to be very careful over here. Don't miss on the minus sign. I have the slope, I have the point. All I need is I need to graph it. So let's start again the process. Step number 1, this is step number 1. Put that point on. 2, 3. 2, 3. This is your point. This is where the 2, 3 is. And then I need the slope, which is 1 down, 3 forward. So 1 down, 1, 2, 3. It's over here. 1 down, 3 forward, but I don't have room, so I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna reverse everything. 1 up, 3 back to the left, 1 up. There you go. So I have good enough points. Use a edge of a paper. See, I just folded this pass in multiple folds to make it a ruler. There you go. I have my line. And that's it. It's done. This is my line. So this is your method number 1. I'm going to write somewhere so you understand that there are more than one ways. So this is method 1. Let's go ahead, do question number 2 with method number 1. And then I am going to help you with something similar. So I'm going to use the same method number 1 for example number 3. And then for example number 5, I'm actually going to use another one. Method 2. All right. So I need my slope and the point because this is a point slope form. So let's write the equation that I need. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. According to this, the slope is negative 3 over 2. So negative 3 over 2, 3 down, 2 to the right. This is my slope. And my point is x1 comma y1. So what is x1? So let's say x1 again. X from the x, minus from the minus, equation matching. So x1 is positive 1. So this one was easy. That's why I'm doing this question. This one was straightforward. But look for the y1. Y from the y. This is a plus and this is a minus. So equation should have the minus, but this is not a minus. So what do you think what happened? There were 2 negatives in there. So 2 negative makes a positive. So the first negative is part of your equation. There you go. And the second is part of that number. So the y1 is basically negative 5. So this is my point. So this is where the key part is, that if it is not a minus and it's a plus, that means the number was negative, because 2 negative made up positive over here. So there you go. I have a negative 5. Now this is my starting point. This is where I start from. Negative 5. So 1 on the x and negative 5. 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be over here. This is where 1 comma negative 5 is. And it says 3 down to the right. Oh, I don't have room, so I have to switch it. I'm going to make it 3, negative 2. That means 3 up and 2 to the left. It's going to give me the same thing. So 3 up, 2 to the left. 1, 2, 3 up, 2 to the left. 1, 2, 3 up, 2 to the left. 1, 2, 3 up. There you go. And I have a line. Negative slope, and yes, that is what I have. There you go. I have a line. And this should be a correct line. And we're done. So do number 4 right now using the same method. Just pay attention on the negative. Okay, copy everything down so you don't mess it up. Or mess it up. All right, now method number 2. So method number 2 is I'm going to convert this equation to y equal mx plus b. So what I'm going to do is method number 2, I'm going to convert or rewrite. So convert this equation into y equal mx plus b format, and then use the method as described on the back side to do the graphing. Now y equal mx plus b, that means I don't have any parentheses and the y is all by itself. Negative 3 needs to be gone from here. So it's a simple process. It's not too much. So let's copy the equation down first. There was no number, so I'm going to put negative 1. Then x plus 4. All right, first thing you do is distribute. So I'm going to distribute. So y minus 3 going to stay over here. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And negative 1 times positive 4 is negative 4. I distribute it. Distribution, negative 1 times x. And then negative 1 times positive 4. This is negative 1x. And this is negative 4. This is what I did. Now, I do not have any parentheses. Good. So this thing is kind of good. But I have a minus 3 over here. This needs to be 0. So how do you make a negative 3 0? When you do the opposite, add a 3. This is how it becomes 0. So you are going to add the 3 underneath here. And it's a number, so it needs to go under positive 4. So positive 3, negative 4, so it needs to be over here. So negative 4 plus 3 needs to go here. This is a 0. You're left with y equals negative 1x minus 1. And this is my equation of y equal mx plus b. In this one, so I have this equation. I'm going to use this equation to graph. Your slope is negative 1 over nothing. So negative 1 over 1. And then your by intercept is negative 1 or 0 comma negative 1. Negative 1 means 1 down and 1 to the right. And this is where you start at. This is your starting point. So 1 comma negative 0. Where is that point on the graph? 0, negative 1. This is where it is. 0 comma negative 1. And then I need the rise over run. 1 down, 1 to the left. Oh, I always end up writing. So 1 down, 1 to the left here. 1 down, 1 to the left here. 1 down, 1 to the left here. Oh, it's a pretty staircase there. And then I'm going to repeat backward, and there you go. I have a bunch of points. All I'm going to do is connect them nicely, and I have my line. So this is done. So this is your method number 2. It requires you to do some steps, which is convert them to y equal mx plus b, and then you actually can graph it by hand or using the calculator, one way or the other, but you will have something. Okay, so go ahead, pick whatever method you prefer, and then go ahead, finish these questions front and back, both sides.